Alright, welcome to another episode of Psoto Desperado Plays Ark Survival Ascended. I'm over here in my base on the island. Did some work earlier today. And the door doesn't close. Still bugging this thing. There we go. So I was gonna go ahead and play a video and gonna go over here to Carnal Island and see what I could do to harvest. I flew around for a bit, but I saw a 208 Megatherium, solid red, really beautiful, in some dude's base, a wild one. I'd tame it if I had a wyvern to pick it up with. I'm tempted to go to Scorched Earth to get wyvern eggs. Somebody had offered them a while back, and I could go try to get some, see if I can get away with that, but I mean, it just depends. We'll see. Anyway, I have a video lined up from, what's his name? Joey the Gypsy. Why don't you feel good?
Florida. So this is a video I want to talk about why you may not feel too good a lot of the time. And, you know, you got to realize a large portion of the population has the same issue. Oh, also, I'm going to start doing a Red Dead Redemption playthrough. Should I do it on this channel or should I do it on my other channel? It's up to y'all. Tell me what you think in the comments. So, now, as far as why, the way I know a lot of people don't feel too good is I used to not feel very good until I dealt with a whole bunch of really difficult things in life. And I tell you what, the more shit you deal with, I guess it depends on the person, but for me, it kind of, anxiety went away. I didn't have time for that shit. You know what I mean? When shit's real crazy, I didn't, you know, it forced me to tighten up in a lot of ways. But, shit, I took notes for this video, but I left them. Hold on, wow. I'm gonna come back. Alright, I'm back, and I got my notes. So, now, you gotta realize that, now I'm not saying that this applies to everyone, but there's a whole lot of people out there who think they are mentally ill when the reality is they're not mentally ill. It's that they've been gaslit and brainwashed. Oh shit, hopefully my mic is picking this up. Into accepting a lot of unacceptable things. They've been taught a whole lot of unhealthy coping mechanisms. So, you know, it's hard to even know where to start with this. So basically, one of the main things is there's two kinds of people in the world. There's those that make mistakes and they can admit to it and they try to fix it. Then the other type makes mistakes and pretend they never made any mistakes. And in that case, so we've all done messed up things to other people. We've all lied, we've all cheated, we've all stolen at least one of those things. Most likely, we've all done all of those things. I mean, in my opinion, I'm one of the honest people I know. It's hard to even know if you're 100% honest because we've all been trained to lie to ourselves. So even to this day, I'll catch myself lying to myself. You know what I mean? But I try very hard not to. It's hard to really know yourself. There's this saying, it's like, victory over others is impressive, but victory over the self is like the supreme victory. Sun Tzu said it or something. What that means is, you know, it's very rare for a person to be able to, you know, find all the faults within themselves and deal with those things, because most people we're we're raised in a society that doesn't do that. We're raised in a society that pretends everything is normal when it's not. So here's the thing with me. Every once in a while, and even to this day this happens, it just doesn't happen very often anymore. But I'll be sitting there, and all of a sudden I'll feel kind of guilty or bad about something. And I'm very in touch with like myself and my feelings and shit. So I'm able to trace it back usually to some thought or action where I did something messed up, and I'm like, damn, that was messed up that I did that. I need to never do that again. And so for me, that kind of it kind of goes away at that point, and I feel better. Now, I think what a lot of people do is they'll think of something like that, and they're not even capable of thinking deep enough to trace it back to its source. But even if they were, they'd be like, oh, well, no, I had to do that, or I wasn't wrong to do that, or you know what I mean? So it just stays with them. Like, I guess what I'm saying is a lot of people are carrying around a lot of baggage over a lot of bullshit. It ain't doing you no good. Telling yourself, oh, I was right, I did what, I did what I had to do or whatever, it doesn't help. It might help your, it'll stroke your ego in the short term, and you can, here's the thing. You can tell yourself anything you want, but the truth is still the truth. So, pretending that a lie is true does not make it true. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people, instead of dealing with these issues, they pretend they aren't there. And so the issues stay, man. It's hot in here. Let me open my door. I'll cut this part out of the video. Unbelievable. There's a guy out here with a blower. I cannot escape people with blowers when I'm trying to film YouTube videos. I'm in the mechanic yard, and there's a dude out here with a blower. Unbelievable. But so, anyway. Now, you got to realize that we live in a society that lying is unhealthy. It does no one any good. Lying, nothing good can come from it. So, you got to realize we live in a society that in a million different subtle ways tells you that lying is not only okay, it's normal and necessary. An example, and I've brought this example up before, but I'm going to bring it up again. Everyone lies on their resume. Another example, all of our world leaders, politicians, everyone, down to the local mayor, they all lie right to our faces. We all just accept it as normal. Everyone lies. People in relationships lie to each other. It's like if you actually, they teach everyone in relationships nowadays, like, oh, well, you gotta play them just right, and you gotta play hard to get in this and that. I don't do none of that. I'm straight up honest with everyone I deal with chicks. What's funny is when I'm telling a chick that I'm probably not good for her, and I'm probably going to end up doing damage to you in the long term, they want you even more. And when I'm straight up honest with a girl and telling her, like, yeah, I think we could probably make a relationship that lasts, it turns them off. But here's the thing. I'm 100% honest with the chicks, and if it chases them away, it weeds out the ones that I wouldn't want in the long run anyway. You know what I mean? This blower's just inching his way over to me. So instead of lying to myself or lying to other people, I'm as honest as I possibly can be. And that may lead to little, hits to my ego in the short term, but in the long run, it is exactly what I have to do in order to get where I'm trying to be in this world. So let me go through my notes now and see what I have. Okay, so, and in a lot of ways, man, you gotta be kidding me with this fucking blower. Hopefully this is not interfering with the video. So here's another example of people just kind of being dishonest with themselves. The blower's really pissing me off. Unbelievable. Like, what are the odds that I'm gonna be filming a YouTube video and a motherfucker with a blower is gonna be 5 feet away from me in the mechanic's yard? Like, what are the fucking odds? I mean, he's had all day to do this. Yesterday. I mean, I'm only out here. I'm gonna be out here for like a half hour, an hour filming this video. As soon as I start filming, a motherfucker starts with a blower. So, anyways, here's an example of people kind of shorting themselves in character. So, I've seen a million people on the street where they will act tough when they're dealing with someone who does not want to fight. They're dealing with someone who is timid and afraid. And so this person will act like they're the hardest person on earth and make that person back down. Now, when there's another type of person around who's actually like known to get down or whatever, that same person who is acting like a bully to the frightened one is now like kissing this guy's ass. And I'm thinking, and you know, the frightened one was trying to be nice to this guy, and the bullyish type one will be out here acting like an asshole, and the one who is acting tough is basically kissing the bully's ass because he doesn't want any issues with him. Now, that's gonna hurt your character. That's gonna make you feel less self-respect, and it's, you know, you may have stroked your ego by trying to pick on the weak one, but when the strong one comes around and you're acting like a beta, you know, what you're saying to yourself is you're only tough when it's safe to be tough. That's going to hurt your self-respect. It's going to make you feel less good. It's just one example of 10 million of them. I'm just trying, you know, I'm trying to bring up examples so people can see it in themselves. And when I was younger, was I like that? Well, to be honest, when I was younger, I had such a messed up temper. I thought I could beat up everyone. And so I didn't really have that issue. But as I got older, I noticed a tendency in myself to, like, walk on eggshells around, like, people I considered to be dangerous. You know what I mean? But as I got older and I recognized that character flaw, I said to myself, I'm not going to be that way. I'm going to treat him the same way I treat him and the same way I treat, you know, I'm going to treat everyone the same. I'm going to match their energy towards me. If they're being respectful and nice to me, I don't care if they're the biggest pussy on earth. I'm going to be respectful and nice to them. If they're the hardest motherfucker on earth and they're being nice and respectful to me, I'm going to be nice and respectful to them. If they're going to be a dick to me, I'm going to return that energy. If it causes me to get my ass whooped, that's what it does. But what I'm not going to do is play a character depending on who's around me. You know what I mean? So, there's plenty of people out there who probably think I'm nuts because but here's the thing, I'm me. It is what it is. I don't even care if people think I'm nuts. I know myself. You know what I mean? So, you know, this is why I feel good a lot of the time because I'm just me, bro. I accept myself. I accept my flaws. People are like, why do you believe in astrology and this and that? I'll tell you exactly why I believe in astrology. I am a Pisces, and there are characteristics of Pisces that I don't like. I don't want to be that. But the truth is, that's what I am. So, for example, a Pisces is like very sensitive and can be, you know, like, I don't want to be a sensitive dude. I want to be a tough dude. I don't want things to bother me. But here's the thing. I'm a sensitive dude. So, I don't want to be, but it is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not the type to be crying all the time and stuff. I'm pretty tough when it comes to that. And I get over things quick. I bounce back quick. But things do bother me. Sometimes I'll read a negative comment, and it really bothers me. And so I get myself into these internet fights, which I try to avoid. Or, you know, here's the thing. I am very much a Pisces. Realistically, if you calculate like all my zodiac signs, I'm kind of a Scorpio, I guess. Really, my Chinese zodiac sign, my deepest sign is like the equivalent of Scorpio. So really, I'm somewhere between a Pisces and a Scorpio. But realistically, I am very much a Pisces. Now, Pisces are kind of like the, they're kind of ditzy-ish, and it's true. I can be a ditz. You know what I mean? I believe what people tell me. I can be a fool like that. And so, these are traits that I'm not proud of, but it is what it is. I am what I am. I can pretend to be something else, but what's the point? The true me is always going to come through. You know what I mean? As long as I don't, there's people out there who they expend all their energy and effort to be someone else. You know what I mean? I don't have that issue. Now, to me, that's like mental illness, but it's such an easy cure. Here's the cure for mental illness: the truth. The truth sets you free. I don't care what the situation is. If you hate your job, it's not going to do you no good to pretend that you don't hate it. If you absolutely cannot stand your job, you're better off admitting that to yourself, and from there you can work on fixing it. Find a new job, or maybe cut down on your bills. Figure something out. This is why I decided to be homeless and shit, because I realized I'm not willing to live the rest of my life this way, doing things that I can't stand doing, answering to people who I don't necessarily respect, or I don't necessarily think they even know what they're talking about. So I'm going to spend the rest of my life 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, doing things I don't want to do, dealing with people I don't want to deal with. I would rather face that right now and go be homeless and figure something else out. I don't know when I was first homeless, I didn't know what was going to happen. The only thing I knew was that I wasn't going to spend the rest of my life dealing with that full-time job bullshit and dealing with shit jobs and shit people. So for me, I would rather die. I would rather take my chances out on the street and die. Let's see if there's anything else in my notes. So, and here's the other thing. After dealing with these things that I am, I was afraid to be homeless. But after dealing with, so these fears were holding me in line. After dealing with them, now I don't care what happens. I'm going to handle it with dignity. Anything that happens, I don't care what it is. You throw me out on the street right now, I'm going to be pissed. I'm going to be upset. But you know what? I'm going to get over that real quick. I'm going to get to work. I'm going to get to building back up. It's that simple. I'm not going to beg anyone to help me, or, to let me stay, or beg for this or beg for that. I'm going to go out there and I'm going to figure it out, and I'm going to make it happen. If I'm with a chick, she don't like me, she wants to dump me, I'm gonna just accept that, and sooner or later I'll find a girl that does like me. You know what I mean? So it's like I would, instead of telling myself lies and living and being something I'm not, then I would rather deal with the consequences of being myself 100%. And that, I believe, makes me very mentally fit, because there's really nothing you could throw at me that's going to have me bouncing off the walls. You know what I mean? I do get angry. I do have a temper. But I'm not going to let I'm not going to let it control me. Nothing. I'm going to control myself. So, and here's the other thing. A lot of people go to these therapists and psychiatrists. Here's the way I see that situation. If they were good at their job, they wouldn't have a job. Now, I know I've got members of my family who have been dealing with issues. I've got friends who have been dealing with issues. They've got a psychiatrist and a therapist, and they're on medication and this and that. Here's the thing. They've been doing this for years, and nothing has changed. Because here's what the therapists and the psychologists and shit do. They don't try to cure you of anything. They don't go to the root of these traumas, and what they do is they give you medication that covers up these issues. So the issues are still there. You're just too fucking high to feel them or notice them, or I mean, the fact that we live in a society that instead of curing anyone's issues, they just give them mind altering drugs. That is fucking insane. That is fucking insanity. I was arguing with someone on Instagram yesterday because I follow this Instagram account called I Am the Improbable Dreamer, and he says he's got a lot of interesting posts about the history of the world. Now, I think a lot of his information is probably not accurate, but it makes me think about things that I've never thought about before, so I follow the account. Anyways, so one of the things he put up yesterday, I forget what it was, but someone in the comments said, maybe you need to take your meds. And so I get on his comment and I said, maybe you need to take less meds. And then this dude starts getting all insulting and rude and bitter towards me. All I did was reverse his comment onto him. And he's being real nasty towards me. And I said, honestly, do you think a mentally healthy person would be this bitter and nasty to a stranger on the internet? Over all I did was said what you said. I just said it back to you. And then, and then I said, he was going off, this guy. And then I said, do you think that it's mentally healthy for you to be suggesting mind-altering drugs to people? I mean, are you a psychotherapist or something? Like, you're the issue here, bud, not him. He's looking into things. The modern society that we live in is an upside-down, insane idiocracy. The reason I follow the I Am the Improbable Dreamer account, at least he's looking for answers. At least he's looking outside the box. And some of his posts I do think are accurate. Some of them not so much. Like, for example, I think he believes that some rock formations used to actually be living things. Personally, I don't believe that. A biologist or a geologist can tell a lot about rocks. If it used to be organic, you can tell. So, but that doesn't, I do like thinking about these weird things, things that are like outside the norm. I find it interesting. I find that a lot more interesting than watching Mr. Beast pay someone $10,000 to hold their finger on a fire hydrant or something. That doesn't interest me at all. I'd rather watch the grass grow. So, but it's a perfect example of someone who thinks they're normal. This guy coming at me with absolute vitriol. I'm like, you think you're normal? You think you're mentally healthy? And so here's the problem. So in our society, he probably is considered normal, but in my world, he's not normal. He's fucked up. He's perpetuating the poison. You know what I mean? And there ain't much worse than that. So, one of the problems in our society is most people are just so afraid to stand out that they just accept all the fucking craziness. Like I said, with the resumes, everyone lies on their resume.
I didn't
when I
lie
was
on my fucking
at
resume.
One point, I was on the street.
That's
a
why I
friend of
got
mine was
fucked.
trying to help me do a resume, and he's telling me to put all these lies on it. And I'm like,
Trusted everything.
it felt so wrong. I had been living with hard truths for a while at that point, and I'm like, I had already been living on the street for a couple of years at that point, and I'm like, you know what? I'd rather continue to live on the street with the hardship than play this bullshit game and pretend to be something and pretend, I don't want to be a little puppet. I'm going to lie to these people to get this job I don't even want. And then, that's just the beginning. Once they've got me, what are they going to have me doing? More lying and cheating, stealing? Who knows? You know what I mean? But here's the thing. I see it as, if I got to lie to make something happen, it probably isn't good for me anyway. You know what I mean? So I would rather be my own unique, maybe crazy self and accept whatever comes with that. And but here's the thing: I am at peace. Even when I was homeless, I was working out multiple times a day. I'm a high energy person. I got plenty of energy. I ride my bike far every day. I'm still trying to get this truck fixed. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't know what's going on, but we'll see. Let's see if I missed anything. So, yeah, I mean, all I can really say is the truth sets you free. Well, what's the definition of insanity? And people try to argue this with me in the comments. I think Einstein said it. I don't know who said it, but the definition of insanity, according to what I heard, is people repeat the same thing over and over and expect a different outcome. Now, when I first heard that, I was like, that's not what insane is. Insane is when they're, bouncing shit off their head and they're, they're acting like a crazy person. But really, if you really think about it, that definition is pretty accurate, because if someone is doing the same thing over and over and expecting a different outcome, what that means is they are just pretending that the truth doesn't matter. The fucking blower, just inching up to me. Come on, bro. Blow your shit and get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, what is it with people and blowers? They just go for hours and hours. They fucking love it. Are there any people who run... when I used to lay sod and I had to run a blower, I would do it as quick as possible. I can't stand the loud noise of the fucking things. It's completely throwing me off, bro. I don't even know what I was just saying. Oh, the definition of insanity. So, if you think about it, if the truth is right there, and someone's pretending that something else is true, that's fucking insane. Now, here's the problem. In our society, we're raised to see that as normal. It's like an insidious teaching. They never just teach you outright that lies are normal, lies are okay, you have to lie. It's just, it's done, the politicians do it, you're expected to do it to get a job, you're expected to do it to get a girl. All the red pill guys, they're always trying to teach you how to play a girl and this and that. I'm thinking to myself, if I gotta play all these games with a girl, I don't fucking want her. You know what I mean? Who the hell wants to deal with that? I'm gonna be myself. If that doesn't work, it doesn't work. You know what I mean? I don't want to play mind games. I don't got time for that shit. You know what I mean? If I'm gonna be doing all that bullshit, I would rather just have a bunch of shallow relationships where we don't even care about each other. What I'm not gonna do is live a lie to get a girl that I don't even belong with. You know what I mean? So, I really gotta get my car fixed and get out of here. There's too much annoying shit going on. Anyways, so I guess that's about it for this video. Let me watch it and see this. This has been an interesting one. So at least there wasn't a wasp attacking me the whole time. But if you're gonna take one thing from this video, take this. You're much better off just facing harsh truths than living lies.
Shit,
you know what I mean?
Goddamn.
Let me tell you something else. The more harsh truths you accept, the easier it gets. At this point, yeah, I still get hurt by things and this and that, but that pain is nothing. It goes away quick. You know what I mean? What I don't want is carrying around baggage of guilt or anything else. Anyways, let me get out of here before this blower drives me straight out of my fucking mind. I appreciate every single one of you. Thanks for the subs, likes, tips, comments. Oh, the Red Dead Redemption. Let me know in the comments if y'all want me to put them videos on here. I already started filming them. Or you want me to put them on my other channel. It's up to y'all. I don't care either way. So, I appreciate the Patreons especially. I got to go respond to a bunch of comments on Patreon. Appreciate the tips, likes, comments, subs. And so, yeah, I guess that's about it. Appreciate every single one of you. I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one.
Well, I told the truth on a resume, and like I said in other videos, I got fucked out of a career in the future. So it didn't matter how smart I was academically. The truth is, I didn't tell these people what I wanted to hear. I didn't tell them what they wanted to hear, so they gave the job and the future along with it to somebody else who did lie and tell them what they wanted to hear. And that's why society sucks. That's why nothing I was told was true. It was all lies. And that's why the world you're living in is nothing but a bunch of fucking lies. Shit. That's the one I was thinking of getting. See if I can get it over there. Oh, it's not even down yet. Shit. Let me go set this thing up so that I can try to capture that red one. I was going to let it go and just try to get something else that's on the ground like a Rex, but I just haven't had any good luck with Rexes at all. Man, I wish I had gotten that fucking 240 and took it more seriously. I really wish I had. Let's see if I could find that red one. Is that you? How's it going? Over here, bro. Come on, bro. Come on. Come on, bro. No, I didn't get it right. You have to go around the corner, otherwise it doesn't get caught. Like right there, it gets caught in the corner, chasing my animal. Now I can close the door. That's what I should have done last time. And I kept dicking around thinking I'm going to jump off and close the door. You see, sometimes you just don't have the right idea. It takes time to develop it, guys. But anyway, I'm just glad I had a life. You know what I mean? What the hell? Wow. Okay. Well, while I'm doing this, let's get another video. That was Joey the Gypsy. Always very insightful.
back in 2022, I lost two.
America can't survive this. Don't let it happen. Brother, it's already happened, brother. All right, big word, the genius.
Good afternoon, good afternoon. Today is Saturday, September 14th, 2024. I'm back with another episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. I really, really appreciate it. And there's this thing called deja vu. You know, where you feel like you've seen this before. It's a different day, different time. But like you've seen this before somewhere, right? Or you heard this before somewhere. You know, like, y'all know, deja vu. Reliving something. But you can't quite tell, like, when did it happen, when did it happen, whatever. But I've seen this before. I've heard this before. I've seen it before. Deja vu. I'm going to let y'all relive some deja vu. Something you heard before. Exactly the same. You can hear it again. This can't be real. This cannot be happening. But anyway, let me show you what I'm talking about, and we're going to chop it up.
Madam Vice President, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for your time today. Our audience appreciates your time as well.
Of course.
As you know, we're sitting here in a state and arguably in front of an audience that 54 days from now could decide the outcome of this presidential election.
You hear it more than I do. People want to know more about you and about your specific plans. At the debate the other night, you talked about creating an opportunity economy. I wonder if we could drill down on that a little bit. When we talk about bringing down prices and making life more affordable for people, what are one or two specific things you have in mind for that?
Well, I'll start with this. I grew up a middle-class kid. My mother raised my sister and me. She worked very hard. She was able to finally save up enough money to buy our first house when I was a teenager. I grew up in a community of hardworking people, you know, construction workers and nurses and teachers, and I try to explain to some people who may not have had the same experience, you know, but a lot of people will.
Deja vu. Where have we seen and heard this before? I've seen this somewhere. I've heard this somewhere. I'm trying to figure out where. The exact same answer. Y'all help me out here. We gonna figure this thing. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We're gonna do some investigation to figure out where have we heard this before. We're gonna figure it out, y'all.
Relate to this. You know, I grew up in a neighborhood of folks who were very proud of their lawn.
The lawn.
And I was raised to believe and to know.
Did she just say she grew up with people that were very proud of their lawn? Their lawn, the grass. I'm proud of my grass. Get out my grass, kiddies. The old man. Get out my grass. I have some bad flashback memories of people that were proud of their lawn. We outside playing football. You throw the football. They won't give you your football back because they got on their grass. Them people. That's what she grew up with. What they got to do with your economic... Anyway. I really need some violins playing in the background. I wish I had that little violin music. You know, a little violin background music when somebody telling a heart-touching story about their childhood and where they grew up. You know what I mean? The little violin. Y'all know what I'm talking about. The violins in the background while she telling her, she tugging at your heartstrings.
You know?
You know?
And I was raised to believe and to know that all people deserve dignity. And that we as Americans have a beautiful character. You know, we have ambitions and aspirations and dreams, but not everyone necessarily has access to the resources that can help them fuel those dreams and ambitions. So when I talk about building an opportunity economy, it is very much with the mind of investing in the ambitions and aspirations and the incredible work ethic of the American people, and creating opportunity for people, for example, to start a small business. My mother, worked long hours, and our neighbor helped raise us. We used to call her, I still call her, our second mother. She was a small business owner. I love our small business owners. I learned who they are from my childhood, and she was a community leader. She hired locally. She mentored. Our small businesses are so much a part of the fabric of our communities. Not to mention, really, I think the backbone of America's economy. So my opportunity economy plan includes giving startups a $50,000 tax deduction to start their small business. It used to be $5,000. Nobody can start a small business with $5,000. But investing in people's...
Here's a news flash for you from a man who's in business. You can't start a business with a tax deduction. You don't get to take out the deductions until you actually have the business already. Follow me. She's not giving you $50,000, here go cash money to start your business. She said $50,000. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I heard it wrong, maybe I'm biased, I don't know. She said a $50,000 tax deduction. That means when you file your taxes, you get a deduction that you can write off. But you can't write it off if you don't have the business. You don't have the business because she didn't give you $50,000 cash, which even if she said that, how's she gonna do it? We already have a small business administration. They already have that where small businesses can apply for money, loans, what have you. How is that working for small businesses? The red tape, all the shit you got to go through to get the loan. I know. So I'm following now. $50,000 tax deduction. How you gonna start a business with a tax deduction when you can only file the deductions on your taxes from a business that you already have? How's that gonna help you start a business? Somebody help me. Somebody that's smarter than me, which ain't many people, help me out.
Innovative ideas and giving them the ability to go for it. Opportunity economy means, look, we don't have enough housing in America. We have a housing supply shortage. And what that means, in particular for so many younger Americans, the American dream is elusive. It's just actually not attainable. So part of my plan is to work with the private sector and housing developers to give them a tax credit, to be able to partner with us as the government, to build, and my goal is 3 million new homes by the end of my first term. In addition, to help people who just want to get their foot in the door, literally. And so giving first-time home buyers a $25,000 down payment assistance to be able to just get in the door, and then they will do the work that they need to do.
And guess what gonna happen with that $25,000 assistance she talking about? If she do it, she ain't gonna be able to do it. Sounds like forgiving student loans. How'd that work out for you? Promising you to give you free stuff. How does that work out? So now they're gonna give you $25,000 to buy a home. Who? Me? Shit, if she gonna give me $25,000, I got your back, baby. You gonna give me $25,000, Miss Harris? Well, I can't vote for Trump. She gonna do that. I gotta have that 25 grand. I ain't stupid enough to fall for that, baby. If I really thought you were going to give me $25,000, if I thought you could give me $25,000 to buy a home, you have my vote in a heartbeat. I wouldn't care about nothing else. Hey, Trump, I was with you. I was down for you. But Ms. Harris said she's going to give Big Ward $25,000. And I believe her. So I got to vote for her. The problem is, I don't believe her. She can't do it. That's way more money than the student loan forgiveness, and they couldn't do that. So you think the Supreme Court and whoever else, the same ones who shot down the student loan forgiveness, saying we can't do that, that's unconstitutional, you think they're going to allow her to give out $25,000 to millions of people? It was less money to pay off the student loan debt. And they couldn't do that. They couldn't get that done. But they're going to get this done. Well, I tried. I said I was going to do it. I tried. Them damn Republicans, they held it up. They stopped it. They blocked it. Whatever. That's all you're going to hear is why she couldn't do it. I wanted to do it, y'all, with them damn Republicans. Donald Trump. Whatever. Anyway. And just say, for the hypothetically speaking, which it ain't going to happen, but if she was able to give people $25,000, you know what's going to happen? The price of the houses is going to get jacked up even more to make up for that $25,000 that the folks trying to, hey, she just gave out $25,000. We can raise the price of the houses. That's all going to happen. The government cannot get involved in the free market. But anyway, I ain't gonna, some of y'all ain't going to get it no way.
To save and to pay that mortgage and to build wealth for themselves and their family. These are some examples of what I mean when I talk about an opportunity economy, and a lot of it has to do with just the community I was raised in and the people that I admired who work hard, and deserve to have, their dreams fulfilled because they're prepared to work for it.
My God.
So why do so many homes in Bexar County need a flooring replacement? The number one reason is not...
You talked at the debate.
That is fucking fantasy land, dude. Obviously, these people who are up there putting on that bullshit show either do not know what the fuck is going on and they're living in their own middle class world, or they know exactly what's going on and they don't really care. They're just coming up with politically correct bullshit to put out. We need real solutions in this country, and it's not happening. That's why, I'm going to just continue to work on my car and make sure that damn thing is livable. Make sure my vehicle is livable by the end of the week. Not the week. It takes me time to get that set up, but I'm going to get started on that shit because I need it taken care of, Can't trust in these people. Can't trust them worth a shit. I really can't. Sad but true. Anyway, we'll continue.
And at previous appearances about turning the page on the past. And in fact, here today in Johnstown, you're talking about a new way forward.
Yeah.
I think some people have a question, given maybe your current role as Vice President of the United States, how different you are from Joe Biden. And so I wonder if there are one or two spots, policy areas or approaches where you would say, I'm a different person.
Well, I'm obviously not Joe Biden. And, I offer a new generation of leadership. And so, for example, thinking about developing and creating an opportunity economy where
she just said
it's about investing in areas that really need a lot of work. And maybe focusing on, again, the aspirations and the dreams, but also just recognizing that at this moment in time, some of the stuff we could take for granted years ago, we can't take for granted anymore. For example, another plan that I have that is a new approach is to expand the child tax credit to $6,000 for young families for the first year of their child's life, because that is obviously a very critical stage of development of a child. And a lot of young parents need the help to buy a car seat or a crib or clothes.
Here we go with that damn car seat and crib again. Where have we heard this before? Deja vu, baby. Anybody in need of a car seat?
Big word.
Or a crib? This is your candidate right here. She got you.
Deja vu, baby.
Anybody out there need a car seat or a crib? Vote for Kamala Harris.
Such bullshit, man. That's obviously
for their
a
kids.
script.
And so
That's
my
a fucking script.
approach is about new ideas, new policies that are directed at the current moment, and also, to be very honest with you, my focus is very much in what we need to do over the next 10, 20 years to catch up to the 21st century around, again, capacity, but also challenges.
Crime and public safety are two major issues.
Did y'all see the look on his face before he went on to the question? Did y'all just see the look on his face like, what the hell is this broad talking about? But I got to sit up here and act objective, unbiased, which he probably is. He's doing a great interview, but he's throwing a softball question, and she's still striking out. Did y'all just see the look on his face like, what the hell? Anyway, let's ask the next question.
Issues right at the forefront of voters' minds in Philadelphia as well, where crime is a significant issue. When we talk about crime, the conversation turns to gun safety as well. And I think you actually probably caught a lot of people off guard, maybe a bit by surprise in the debate the other night when you mentioned that you are a gun owner. I know you said it in 2019 as well. I want to talk about your values on this issue. When it comes to gun ownership, where do you draw the line in America on gun ownership and gun use?
Well, like you said, Brian, I am a gun owner, and Tim Walz, my running mate, is also a gun owner. We're not taking anybody's guns away. I support the Second Amendment, and I support reasonable gun safety
they'll
laws.
trick you into giving it away.
Part of my approach to
Bunch of suckers.
That's a lie. Y'all heard it. I showed you the video where she, for mandatory gun buyback, she says she's not taking anyone's guns unless it's an assault rifle. She left that part out. They determine what kind of gun you can have. You can a pistol, a 38 revolver, a Saturday night special, a 6-shooter. We're gonna be Marshall Dillon around here again with just old Colt 45 on your side, 6-shooter. That's all they're gonna want you to have. While the criminals, on the other hand, got ARs, MAC 10s, you name it, they got it. They're not turning theirs in. So they're not against us having guns. They just want to tell you what kind of gun you can have. They want to determine what you can have. If you're a hunter, I don't think you need a 30-06. A 410 gauge shotgun is good enough. I don't think you need a 30-30 or whatever y'all use when you're hunting. I think a 410 single shot shotgun is good enough. So that's what they want to do, tell you what kind of gun you can have. And if you don't have the gun they agree with, let me get that, buddy. They're going to take your gun. She's a lie. And I go back and watch the video. I showed you where she lied. Thank you.
to this is, I was a career prosecutor for most of my career.
Hilarious.
I have personally prosecuted homicide cases.
And convicted innocent men.
Looked at autopsies. I have personally seen what assault weapons do to the human body.
See, that she go to assault rifle. See, I told you. It was coming. I told you. She talking about assault rifle. Hey, but anyway, they call it assault rifles. A Glock 9 is an assault gun. Any gun that you can shoot a human being with is an assault weapon. It's called assault. Just because it got 30 rounds in it or 17 rounds, it's still assault. A 9mm kill you like a 7.62 or whatever it is. They all kill you. People have died from getting shot with a 22. Anyway, carry on.
And so I feel very strongly that it is consistent with the Second Amendment and your right to own a gun to also say we need an assault weapons ban. They're literally tools of war.
There it is.
They were literally designed to kill.
See, there it is. You have a right to have a gun, but not this kind. You got to have the kind of gun I feel you need to have. You need to have the kind of gun Kamala Harris think and other liberals think you should have. They determine for you what kind of gun you can have. Though the Second Amendment don't say that. The Second Amendment don't say what kind of gun you can have. We have a right to bear arms. It don't say what kind. Well, you can't have that kind though. You have a right to bear arms, but not that kind. So it didn't give the government, Ms. Kamala Harris, or anybody else the right to tell you what kind of gun you can have. Whether you want to have a 6-shooter, a 10-shooter, a 15-shooter, the Second Amendment the Second Amendment don't do that. They want to come along and add some shit to the game, telling you what kind of guns you can have. That ain't cool.
A lot of human beings quickly. I say we need universal background checks. The majority of NRA members support that. Why? Because it's just reasonable. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal...
Lady, we already have background checks. I just bought a pistol the other day. They still do background checks. That ain't the problem. We already have background checks. It sounds good. Universal background checks. Anybody ever bought a gun lately? Don't they check your background before they sell it to you?
Yeah.
I don't know about shot and long guns. That's different. But pistols and stuff like that, you have to do a background check. They don't even give you the pistol the same day you go buy it. They make you wait before they give it to you. It's always been like that. That don't stop criminals from getting guns because they don't go buy them out the store. They steal them. Damn.
Full weapon. If they've been found by a court to be a danger to themselves or others, you just might want to know.
Two final
Lord
questions.
have mercy.
Sure.
On the appeal of the man you were running against, as you drove here today, you likely saw a lot of Trump signs. Mm-hmm. He has an historic appeal in this country, and as you are someone running against him and trying to understand that, I wonder how you distill it. What do you understand his appeal to be, and how do you speak to his voters, or maybe people who just share his values but are open to something else?
I, based on experience and
Come on, lady.
lived experience, no. In my heart, I know, in my soul, I know that the vast majority of us as Americans have so much more in common than what separates us. And I also believe that I am accurate in knowing that most Americans want a leader who brings us together as Americans and not someone who professes to be a leader who is trying...
No, that ain't what we want. We want somebody to fix this goddamn economy. I want to go to work. I don't care nothing about nobody bringing me together with no American. That ain't going to happen. That's not going to happen. That little perfect word you're talking about. Somebody that's going to bring us together as Americans. Nobody has done that. Some of the best presidents we ever had couldn't do that. We're not going to all be together as Americans. We are different. People have different mindsets, different thoughts, different views. You got people that hate other people for whatever reason, their skin color, they sex, they gay, whatever people hate. You cannot legislate morality. I'm not looking for no president to bring no damn body together. I'm looking for a president that's going to fix this economy, do something about inflation, housing, food. I don't care nothing about no bringing no Americans together. That is we're going to let Jesus do that. How about that? That's his job.
Trying to have us point our fingers at each other. I think people are exhausted with that approach, to be honest with you. I think people want a leader who has common sense and tries to find common ground. I'm supported by over 200 Republicans who worked for both Presidents Bush, John McCain, Mitt Romney. I'm supported by the former Vice President Dick Cheney, former Congressmember Liz Cheney. And I think people are more willing now, in light of the hate and division that we see coming out of Donald Trump, to say, hey, let's put country first. And I think that just makes us stronger and more healthy as a country. To say, look, we can all debate our differences around, various policies, but let's stop with the division. Like, enough of that. Let's bring everybody together.
Yeah, right.
You're going to finally, as you introduce yourself to America in a new way.
But they don't do shit.
They've heard much of your story at the Democratic National Convention and in that debate earlier this week. If there's one thing that you wish Americans knew about who Kamala Harris is that you don't think they know yet, what would that be?
Oh, Lord.
I don't know. I mean, probably it's not very different from...
All right, y'all. We're heading in for the home stretch. Bear with me. We're going to make it through. We're going to make it through the interview, y'all. We're heading for the home stretch.
Anybody watching right now, I love my family.
Oh.
One of my favorite things that I lately have not been able to do is Sunday family dinner. I love to cook.
You collard green in the tub.
I have incredible friends. My best friend from kindergarten is still my best friend. I think that
That's my privilege.
I have a career that really, and I said it the other day, you know, as a career prosecutor, I never asked a victim of crime, were they a Republican or a Democrat. The only thing I ever asked them is, are you okay? And I think that's the approach that most Americans want, regardless of who they voted for in the last election.
My mom would do.
Turning the page and trying to move forward.
I imagine you're looking forward to cooking Sunday dinner again.
I am looking for it. Yes, I am looking forward to cooking. With the whole family gets involved, the kids each have their role. Yeah.
Well, it's a beautiful family, and we thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure meeting you.
Oh. My bad, y'all had took a nap. Whew. Where the caffeine at? My bad, y'all. I took a nap through that, but I fell asleep. My bad. Excuse me. But anyway. Get it, got it, good. Bye.
Oh, that fucking Big Ward is hilarious, man. Big Ward is fucking hilarious, dude. Where is it? Is it here? It drops over this way. Oh my god. Dude, that is such show business. What bullshit, man. That's why I don't even bother with politics anymore. I swear to God, there's nothing going on there. It's just this bullshit after bullshit. And another guy who you would think, I saw the video of that guy who tried to kill Trump. I mean, that guy was a patriot. That guy actually believed from that little bit of video, it looked like the gentleman really believed in this country. But the thing is, I don't know what happened to make him, it just doesn't follow. The character is not the same as the character I see in the video. The character is not somebody who hates anybody. He's willing to fight for people that are oppressed. And assassinating Trump is not going to do anything except piss people off. I'd keep it for the color, but I just don't care about that. I'm looking for levels. What do we got here? I don't know. 24. Oh, beautiful. It's a beautiful 24. Oh, this one looks just like the ones I used to have at the old server. It's like red with purple belly and a white stripe. They're very similar, I think. I think it's almost the same. Very beautiful. Just land on this rock because I'm out of stam, basically. I have to wait. that thing's going to be dead, even if it's a high level one. Yeah. Goddamn. Big war, man. I'm telling you. Anyway, we're at about an hour and 5 minutes. It just gets crazier and crazier, man. I'm telling you. I was talking to my boss today because she had, we had to have a little chat today over the phone about some stuff for work, and I was just telling her what I see on YouTube, and it's about the inflation, and people are suffering bad, and it's like all we could do is sit here and talk about it and try to live through it. Can't really do much else, Let's see. There's not much else we could do. We don't have the kind of control we like to think we do sometimes. Ooh, there's a 208. I gotta get it to. There's another one. 72. I'm trying to kill this one. And I'll walk the other one the long way. Okay. Shit. Last thing I wanted is to get stuck in there. 16. Alright, so I'm going to try to get this guy to follow me here. If I can get this 208 over there, it's another sample. Now, I don't have a Carno saddle right now, but later on I may get one. Who knows? But Carnos won't be the priority. I'm just getting them because Carnos are what you can find on, guess what? Carno Island. And that's where we are. Should be able to get this one. Pretty red. I like the red. It's like a solid red, really. Christmas colors. See, this side of the island is pretty much dead. So this is the perfect place to put your trap. See, you have to land in order for them to go through there like that. Alright, that's a 208. Alright, I'm going to see if I can tack on another video. See what else we got. Let's see. Delete. I got a bunch that I saved up.
And building codes that vary from...
That's Elon Musk's $10,000 house, which you'll probably never see. They're so busy trying to take that guy out, man. Nullify all his work.
All right.
Difference between quitting and letting go. Joey the Gypsy. I like Joey.
Let me do this video. It's been on my mind lately. You know, the way things have been working out lately, I just can't get no videos up. But that's going to change real soon. The car's getting fixed. It's almost there. Very close. And I'll be moving back into it real soon. And after I build it out, I'll do a walkthrough, show y'all everything I built. I'm mostly reusing everything that I had built in it previously, but I'm changing a few things around because things have changed for me. I've got 2 generators now. You'll see it when it's done. But I'm gonna have it set up real nice, and then I'll show y'all what's going on as it happens. But so this video, I want to talk about the difference between quitting and letting go, and this is something that just recently occurred to me. Since about a month ago, I've been pretty much fully sober for the last month. No drinking, no smoking herb, no nothing. You know, I mean, I still drink coffee and smoke cigarettes, but those 2 things do nothing to me. I mean, I used to be on some heavy stuff, so people say they get like a caffeine high off of coffee. I've never experienced that. I just drink coffee because I've been doing it since I've been homeless, and it's become like a habit. It's just something I do. So now the main difference now, you know, I've quit smoking weed multiple times since 2017. I'd say probably maybe 3 times, but each time I only stayed not smoking for like a few months at the most, and then I would start smoking again because I missed it, because I didn't really want to quit. I just kind of forced myself. And so the main difference now, I don't have any interest in smoking now. And it's mainly because I didn't just quit this time. I completely let it go. I was tired of it. And a lot of, I've realized a lot of things over the last month. A lot has changed, I gotta say. Now, all the other times when I quit, nothing really changed. I just sat there missing weed. But this time, since I haven't even really been thinking about it, I've been thinking about all kinds of other things now. So let me recap the story of the first time I quit smoking herb, because this reminds me of that. This time reminds me of that in a lot of ways. So the first time I quit smoking, I didn't want to, but I was forced to because I couldn't afford to smoke anymore. I lost my job. I think it was late 2006, maybe around November, December 2006, I'm guessing. And, I tell the story in a previous video, probably the last one I did about quitting smoking weed. But what happened was, I didn't want to quit. And it was really, really, really hard for me because I was forced into it. It wasn't by choice. I just couldn't afford to smoke anymore. And so in the beginning, all I did was sit there missing it. And believe me when I tell you, if I had any money, I would have been going right back to smoking because I didn't know how to live without it. I had been smoking steadily at this point since high school. And this was like, early to mid-20s, around 2006 when I quit. So I really missed it, and I didn't know what to do with myself because I was in this habit of smoking herb twice a day, and without it, I didn't know what to do with myself. So I would sit there, and those times were especially hard, the times of the day when I would normally be smoking. I just didn't know what to do. I was very bored just sitting there watching TV, and it was depressing, and it's like, yeah, I remember it was like a gloomy winter in Florida. Winter in Florida is usually pretty mild, but it was just a gloomy, depressing time for me for that first month or two. So, fortunately for me, my aunt and uncle, who they live in Florida and New York, they go back and forth. They've been doing it for a long time. They happened to be down here staying in their condo, which was not far from where I was living. And I was living in Dunedin at the time, which is right by Clearwater. And they were living in Palm Harbor, which is, not far from Clearwater. So every day I would go over to my aunt and uncle's house and just hang out with them and eat for free, and it just gave me something to do instead of just sitting there doing nothing. And when I think back, it was a very fortunate, very fortunate for me that they were in town at the time, because I was broke, and since my aunt and uncle were in town, they're cooking me all this old school Italian food that I grew up eating. I was eating good, even though I didn't have hardly any money. I was eating at my aunt's for free every day and eating the good Italian food I grew up eating. So that was like a big help for me. And they're just entertaining to be around. They're just old school New York, Irish, and Italian, funny, entertaining people. And so that, that kind of helped a lot. But it was hard for me to sleep for the first couple of weeks. What I ended up doing was I came to the realization that the reason I'm staying up so late and sleeping so late is because I'm not exhausted. I'm used to doing hard labor all day, and that'll put you to sleep. I mean, if you've never done hard labor all day and you go out to work all day, you will, by the end of the day, I guarantee you'll feel like you've been working out in a gym for a year straight. It changes you. I'll never forget the first day I did like a hard labor type job. I could not believe how exhausted I was at the end of the day. I was not used to being that physical all day. But by this time, around 2006, when I had lost my job, I was not just used to it. It was like a way of life for me. I couldn't, just the combination of not doing hard work all day and not smoking weed anymore was like devastating to me, because I had all this, just depressed energy. I didn't know what to do with myself, so I couldn't really sleep for a while. But then I came to the realization I need to be exhausted, so I started working out a lot more, doing push-ups, crunches, leg lifts. I'm not sure if I had a weight bench in my living room at the time, but I was working out quite a bit, and that helped me get back to a normal sleeping schedule. I would force myself to wake up early, and if I was just sitting there watching TV or doing nothing, I would work out. I would either do push-ups or whatever. I was working out a lot. And so by the end of the day, I was able to sleep. And what happened was, the next thing I know, I was feeling better than I had my whole life, really, because you got to realize I started smoking weed around probably 15 or so, and been smoking steady, my whole life up until when I was forced to quit. So I didn't even know what it was like to be like a fully sober adult. So I just, the combination of working out and not smoking, I just started feeling really good, and I started thinking very differently. Instead, like, up until that point, my only goal in life was to get my bills paid so I could have an apartment to live in. But I started thinking, like, why are you aiming so low just to pay bills in an apartment when you should be aiming for something a lot bigger? It's like, what's the worst that could happen? You'll not hit the goal, but at least you'll have tried, instead of just living this kind of low vibration life of just trying to pay bills. So another thing I started doing was watching a movie at night if I was bored, and all of a sudden I was thinking very clearly, and I'd be watching these movies and getting all this like motivational energy from the movies, just seeing there's a cat creeping up. I don't know, I was just like learning a lot from these movies and getting very motivated. I got another YouTube channel linked in the description where I go over what I learn from watching movies and learning from other things, and it's called Gorilla University. That's my other channel. It's linked in the description. And I do like kind of movie reviews, and I haven't put up a video on there lately. Things have been just too crazy in my life, but believe me, as soon as I can, I'm going hard on that channel. I have a lot of plans for that channel. But so, I'm watching all these movies and getting super motivated by seeing all these people doing all these things, and like, it just changed my thinking. So next thing I know, I'm like, why don't you've always been funny, why don't you try to do some stand-up comedy? Like, what's the worst that can happen? I've got previous videos about those stories, first time I did stand up and all that. But I can tell you one thing. If I had never quit smoking herb, it would have never even occurred to me to try stand up. I would have never done anything for the past 20 years of my life except sit in that apartment, working a regular job, coming home, smoking myself out, and I was content with that life. But I'm very grateful to not have been stuck there this whole time. But one of the major catalysts to change everything was the first time I quit smoking weed. And so, you know, all of a sudden I have this like clarity, and then I ended up getting a new job with a new remodel. This guy was like remodeling stuff around Clearwater and Largo. So I'm working for him, and he's paying me real good because he really needed someone at the time. So he was willing to pay me a lot. And so, you know, relatively a lot. So all of a sudden, I've got a lot more money than I had at the last job. And I'm thinking, you can start smoking again if you want. And the whole, you know, for that first couple of months, that was all I wanted, was to be able to get back to being able to smoke and chill again. But now, by the time, it must have been spring 2007, I started working with this guy, Jack. And it occurred to me, like, yeah, if you want to start smoking again, you can. But I was thinking to myself, I don't want to, because I feel so good now. And thinking back on it, it was like, I don't want to be all like, it kind of lowered my whole, it would have lowered my whole vibe from where I was at that point. So I was like, I'm not smoking no more. I'm probably never smoking again. I'm just done with it. And I had like this nice little bubbler and all this stuff. When it became just garbage to me. I didn't even want it in my house anymore. I ended up giving all my like weed paraphernalia away. I just didn't care about none of it no more. And I had no intention of ever smoking again. Fast forward maybe a year, I started smoking occasionally with my buddy, but I had no intention of going back to it. It was just, I told this story in a previous video. Me and my buddy Vaughn used to just hang out and smoke. But, so then, you know, fast forward a couple years, I had no intention of smoking weed ever again. Fast forward a few years, I'm homeless on the streets of New York, and I've got nothing to lose. I've got nothing to look forward to. I didn't care about anything. My buddy Stu, who was staying in the internet cafe with me, was a heavy smoker. And he was offering it to me every day, and I just, by habit, was saying no thanks, you know. But then I was thinking one night, like, why not? You don't even do stand-up no more. Another thing that happened, I mentioned this in the previous video too, was when I was not smoking weed, I had a lot more confidence and stuff like that. When I would smoke, and I would think to myself, like, about stand-up comedy, it would frighten me. And I'd be like, man, I can't wait to sober up so I can get back to my normal self and not be this frightened little anxious, stoned version of myself. But anyways, by the time I was homeless and all that, I didn't care about stand-up, really. I didn't care about anything. I was just smoking. I started smoking again, on and off. I couldn't really afford much weed at the time. And then, next thing I know, a couple years later, I'm on heroin. It's not like the weed led to it. It's, there's no connection in my life between the weed and the heroin. I just decided to do some dope one night with my buddy, and I got addicted to it maybe a couple of months after that. And I wasn't even really smoking herb at that time. Not really. It was like on and off occasionally. And then what happened was around 2017, I was bent on getting off of the opiates, and I decided to use weed as my new thing to just, I'll be addicted to that for now. And so that's so that was my decision. And I gotta say, weed really helped me get off the opiates. It helped a lot. Instead of focusing on getting heroin every day, I was just focusing on getting what I had to get done, making my money, and then at the end of the day, I had my little herb to look forward to. I would smoke some herb and play some video games on my laptop, even though I was homeless. I was chilling on the sidewalk, smoking out and playing video games on my laptop in my little campsite that I would make. And so that's that's how I got through the whole heroin thing. I was just smoking herb and playing video games the whole time. So I'm not saying weed is all bad and everybody's got to quit and it does nothing good ever. What I am saying is it all depends on the person and the circumstances. So, you know, if you're trying to get off something heavy,
Hey, boy.
or I mean, heroin or coke or something heavy, pills, whatever, weed's probably a real good alternative for it. It worked for me. But here's the problem. I never quit smoking weed again. I stayed on it from 2017. I quit occasionally between 2017 and now a few times, but I didn't let it go. I just quit. I forced myself through will and discipline to just quit. And, you know, I could afford to get it whenever I wanted. And so I would just break down after a couple months and go get some and go right back to smoking. Now, the difference is this time, I don't even really miss it. Not at all. I haven't really had the urge to get it. And it's because I'm more focused. I have other things going on. I got stand-up comedy. I got a YouTube channel. I got a Patreon. I got 2 YouTube channels. I have other things in my life that are going good that I don't need to escape from it, I guess, at this point. I don't know, because I have no urge to smoke weed anymore. Maybe in the future I will, but right now, what excites me is building my car back out and taking y'all around the country and doing shit like that and filming how I cook back here and all that type of shit. That excites me now. Weed doesn't excite me at all. I'm not interested, you know? So the main difference is the first time I quit smoking herb, I was forced into it, but eventually I had to force myself to not only quit, but to let it go, which the last few times I quit, I never really let it go. Now this time, I completely let it go. And another thing that's changed is I have a lot more like vivid dreams now. I remember my dreams every night. I have a bunch of very interesting, vivid dreams, which I was not really having when I was smoking before I went to bed. My mental clarity is like, I'm thinking crystal clear now, and I gotta say, the reason I've been stuck here for so long is because in a lot of ways I've been hiding in this fog of weed smoke because I was so stressed out. You gotta realize, when my car got wrecked, here's what happened. These are gonna be future videos and stories, but I'll give you a quick rundown. My car broke down and I couldn't do Uber Eats anymore. This was a little over a year ago. And I was about to be homeless on the streets of Florida. And then all of a sudden my YouTube started taking off. I hadn't put up a video in a while. And all of a sudden my YouTube started taking off and it got monetized. So all of a sudden I didn't need my car to do Uber Eats. I was doing YouTube and making money off of that. So next thing I know, I'm able to afford to fix my car. I'm able to afford to get my car insurance back. And everything's looking good. My life is getting put back together. And then all of a sudden, some chick rams into the side of my car. And I thought totaled it. And then to add insult to injury, the cop gives me the ticket for it. And I was just devastated by that whole thing. And I didn't, I was trying to deal with all the court papers and all this bullshit. I'm not good at all that, so I didn't really know what I was doing. And I'm trying to challenge this cop's ticket. The cops are just ignoring me and all this shit. It was a very high pressure, stressful thing, and I'm grateful to the mechanic for letting me stay here and all that. But I'll put it to you this way: had I realized that, I'll put it this way. I thought this whole situation was a lot worse than it actually is, and I was in a lot of ways just hiding from it in this cloud of weed smoke, just too stressed to even deal with none of it. And then recently, and so I was trying to challenge that cop's ticket because I knew this wreck was not my fault at all. This girl rammed into the side of me. And so, long story short, I tried to challenge the ticket, but I got a letter saying the court date was canceled. They were going to get back to me. I never heard nothing back. I didn't really pursue it. I just gave up on it and hid in this place smoking weed the whole time. Now, recently, I had to go reinstate my car insurance, and as it turns out, I won that case. It's just no one told me, so I got it overturned, so the wreck was not my fault. My insurance, I thought my insurance was going to be through the roof. I was just hiding from all these problems. As it turns out, my insurance is the same, and the wreck was, the fault was overturned. It was not listed as my fault, so, and as it turns out, my car is not as wrecked as I thought it was. It's fixable. The mechanic is fixing it. He's taking a while to do it, but he is doing it. It's almost there. We're so close. We're just doing the last few little things on it. Like, a couple of things got to be put back together, and then it's done. So, it could be done today. It could be done tomorrow. So, thank God for that. But, you know, this whole time, I was just so shocked by the whole thing that I've been kind of hiding from it. And so don't ever do that. Whenever you got some issues that need to be dealt with, I can tell you one thing. The longer you wait, the more problems it's going to be. You got to just deal with it off the bat. You know what I mean? So that's what I should have done, but I couldn't even face it. You got to realize everything, my house was destroyed when this girl hit it. And I'm sitting here, look, this has happened to me multiple times in my life where I start building up, things are going good, and then all of a sudden some cataclysm beyond my control wipes it out. And I'm like, here it is again. And I couldn't even, you know, I'm telling you, this, I need to make a video about all the times this has happened to me where everything I had was just wiped out in an instant. And I've just had it with this shit. And so I was just hiding and avoiding reality and sitting there smoking weed and doing nothing the whole time. But I mean, thank God I maintained my YouTube and Patreon and stuff. Thank God y'all still stayed with me. I appreciate you. And things are about to get real interesting. Wait till y'all see what I'm putting in this my setup here is gonna be so awesome, dude. I guarantee you've never seen an SUV camper the way I'm going to do this one. You'll see. But so, yeah, so basically, you can quit whatever you're doing, but what it comes down to is you got to really let it go. And I couldn't tell you any trick to doing that except that you really need to want to change things and not keep them the same, which is, you know, the last few times I quit smoking weed, I wasn't looking to change everything. I was looking to, I guess I was, but I wasn't committed to it, you know what I mean? But this last time, I was just tired of doing that, just sitting there in that cloud of weed smoke and chilling. I'm tired of it. There's, you know, there's things I want to do. I want to get back to heavy into stand-up. I was doing stand-up once a week, but I've got to do it more than that, and I've got to really, you know, start putting a lot more effort into it. And I've been, for the last year, the stand-up I've been doing, I've just been going up telling old jokes I wrote long ago, getting the little laughs to stroke my ego, and drinking for free. That's what I've been doing for the last year. I haven't been taking it serious at all. I've barely written any jokes. But, so, and I'm telling you, it's because I wasn't focused on anything except chilling and smoking herb. You know, I would do the bare minimum during the day and then smoke and chill at night. And you know, I let that go. So here's a big-ass wasp right in my face. I mean, we've found multiple wasp nests throughout this car as it's been getting fixed, but it's all getting straightened out. I drove my car the other day. You know, all things considered, it's driving pretty good. So, we're well on our way to getting it fixed. It's like so close. I thought it was going to be done today, but it wasn't. But it within the next couple of days, it's gonna be done. So I appreciate y'all, and trying to think if there was anything else I wanted to say. Look, I don't care what you're doing. You can quit it, but the real trick is you gotta just move on from it, because until you do that, it's just gonna be like this thing in the back of your mind calling to you, and you may as well not even quit it. So it was the same thing with heroin. I couldn't tell you how many times I quit heroin, but it only stuck when I insisted on never touching it again. And at first it was difficult, but as time goes on, things just change. And look, the person I am now, I'm such a different person from when I was on heroin that I feel like a completely different person. Here's the thing. I feel like the person I was before I ever touched it. So, and I'm kind of feeling that way with the herb again, too. I just feel good. I don't know. I'm thinking clearly. I'm reading a lot more. Instead of just sitting there staring at YouTube, I got back into like reading books before I go to bed, which I didn't anticipate that happening, but I'm glad it did. Anyways, if you want to respond to your comment, try to get it in the first 30. I appreciate the likes, the comments, the tips. I appreciate the Patreons especially. I appreciate the love on the other channel. I'm sorry I'm neglecting it, but it's been real crazy around here lately, and I'll make a whole video about it once I get everything around here straightened out. So I guess that's the end of this one. I appreciate every single one of y'all, and I'll see you on the next one. Everybody have a good one.
Cool. Well, that's... what's his name? Joey the Gypsy? Yeah, that guy's been through the shit. It's okay, boy. He wants to go outside. Well, I'm going to pretty much just put these raptors away in a separate container. It's okay, brother. It's okay. Calm down. I don't think I have anywhere near enough raptors. Half of them are weak raptors, I don't think they're really worth anything right now. But I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. It's already been an hour and a half or so. Put all my stuff away. Some crazy political shit, man. You should have seen this shit I saw. Even Asmongold was like having so much fun with this shit, man. I'm telling you. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. Sorry for the long video. You take care.